Okay, so here's the thing. We just had a full moon in Aquarius. It was wonderful. That was wonderful. If you were born in 1991 and 1992, then you are going through your Saturn return right now. Your Saturn returns to the same position in the zodiac every 28 to 30 years, meaning that every 30 years you go through what is called a Saturn return. So also if you are experiencing your 60th birthday, you're also going through a Saturn return. So that's what I've been dealing with. And it's interesting to me because I've recently had a significant amount of technological trouble, like busted a laptop, busted a phone screen, something else happened with my phone, and now I have my phone screen fixed, but the front-facing camera won't focus, so I can't actually see myself while I'm recording right now, which is probably honestly for the better because I get distracted by my own face. Anyway, Saturn return. So I've been contemplating, because I've been running into all of these issues regarding how I go about doing this channel, doing this work, it's really got me thinking about, well, am I actually doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this actually what I'm meant to be doing? If not, where do I pivot? How do I pivot? So that's what I've been kind of contemplating on, in addition to just knowing that I need to do a rebranding and really get serious about my schedule regarding this specific work. So Saturn return. Been thinking about Saturn, lessons of Saturn, what Saturn retrograde means, analyzing my Saturn return chart, all of that stuff. And today I decided to pull some runes for myself before filming, to ask, well, what should I be focusing on? Really, the idea behind today's runes was, what should today's focus be? Where do I put my energy? And it just so happened that the runes that I pulled answered the question that I had about my Saturn return. Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this my path? And you know, there's definitely some adjustments and some changes and some structural organizational attunements that need to be made. Those are very Saturnian themes, but overall I do feel this is my path, this is my calling. So how do I incorporate that into the real world and all of that, or incorporate it with the real world? So anyway, I wanted to share a little bit of my journey with you, and also share my rune reading, because I feel like if you are going through your Saturn return right now, or you're just being heavily challenged with what you think you should be doing, maybe this will help. The other thing that I kind of want to note that I've been thinking on and kind of meditating on is, well, yes, if this is my path, maybe it's supposed to look a little different than how I envision it. Maybe what I think that I should be doing, I've based on old wounds and traumas and conditioning and programming. And during this awakening process, really what it is we're coming back to our true selves and shedding that programming and that conditioning. So is doing it online for an audience, is that aspect of it, wanting to help people and wanting to maybe teach people or whatever, is that aspect of it based on ego desires, or is that in line with divine will? So and this is hilarious, because this is not something that you can figure out intellectually. It has to be felt. It has to be, it can't just be puzzled out, which is what I try to do. I can intellectualize anything. So these are the things that I've been thinking about. This is what's been on my mind. This is why I haven't really been here. I've been having some really serious tech issues. And Saturn is teaching me some lessons. So my rune reading for the Saturn return really is first rune, Hagalaz. Hagalaz is crisis. Hagalaz is the elemental storm. Well, Saturn is in Aquarius, and Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and Aquarius is very fucking cold. So, Hagalaz being the first rune is, you are already in this period of crisis. Welcome to life. But it's a reminder that in the smallest of seeds, there exists the pattern of the whole. So in the seed, in the code, there is the predetermined pattern for what that entire plant is going to look like and how it's going to produce fruit or its own way of spreading seeds and propagate itself, or rhizomes, or whatever the case may be. And that's fucking beautiful. In the macro is the micro. In the micro is the macro. As above, so below, as within, so without. So this is a fractal universe. So one of the pieces of advice with Hagalaz is that you are being thrown into crisis. Crisis is coming at you no matter if you want it or not. But this is an opportunity to shape your ideals and shape or model your behavior, your path after higher archetypes. So one of the things that I wrote down actually was, which archetype am I stuck in? What needs to be unlocked? What needs to be reassessed? What's stuck right now? And what's causing me to get stuck right now? Right? Also, Hagalaz is number 9, which symbolizes manifestation and transformation. The second rune that came out represents the present energy right now, and I've pulled Nothez. Nothez is number 10, so 9-10. Nothez is the need fire, and I actually pulled it reversed, so it's murky. Nothez is the need fire. Nothez is 2 sticks being rubbed together to create fire. We would have never innovated if we didn't have the need to, right? Necessity is the mother of all invention, as they say. So resistance to the will is strengthening the will. You don't sharpen a blade by running it underwater. I mean, although I'm sure that you probably could, with the right amount of water pressure, you probably could create a sharp blade, but that's not the fucking point. You sharpen a blade by running a whetstone along it, or by running it on a grinder. Something that's harder than the blade itself has to rub against it in order to create the sharp edge. So these roadblocks, these things that are coming up that seem like crisis, they're intended to strengthen your will. That's the lessons of Saturn. This is not something. Saturn in your chart represents where you will gain mastery if you work for it. That's the area of life where you have to put in more effort, more concentrated effort. It's something that you really have to work on. So that's why the Saturn return period for most people is an extremely transformative period, and changes them. It's not really that they're changing, it's that they are stepping into and embracing the lessons of Saturn. So Saturn goes from being a burden to being a source of great strength and glue. There's a subtle warning with Nothas, especially coming out murky, of being wary of taking the easy path. It's very easy to take the easy path, but it will not leave you satisfied, and it will also put you into a bad position, which will lead to more crisis that could have been avoided. So don't take the easy path. Don't give up. These are lessons that are intended, that are intended to strengthen your will and your resolve. And then the third rune, what comes of this? What comes next? What comes because of this? If you heed the lessons of Notha's Saturn, Anzus. Anzus is inspiration and wisdom. It represents Odin, the sovereign godhood. To me, it also represents ravens, Hunan and Munin, mind and memory, and divine inspiration. With Anzus, we are able to be inspiring for others, give wisdom, give advice. We possess this ability to influence others with our words, with our spells, with our mouth. And when we're connected to this energy of Anzus, it's easier for us to see or hear or tell, I guess, when that is being turned on us and someone is trying to manipulate us. But when you stand in your sovereign godhood, when you know who you are, you're not able to be brainwashed. You're not able to be hypnotized. You're not able to be hoodwinked, because you know who you are. So this period of pressure, oppression, restriction, complications, it's meant to spark off, Nothas, the need fire, the spark off inspiration to help people, us, step into roles of leadership. So if you think about Saturn and Aquarius specifically, Aquarius is the collective. Aquarius is groups. Aquarius is also decentralized groups. It's not communism or socialism where everything is planned from a central location. It's decentralized groups. It's rebellion. It's advanced knowledge, actually. It's advanced knowledge. The tagline for Aquarius is, I know. So people with Saturn and Aquarius, we often feel like outcasts early in life from groups of people and from the collective. That area of life, Aquarius, that's like your network circle, innovations, leadership type things. It's also going against the grain and being rebellious. So Saturn in Aquarius, depending on what house it falls in for you, it could make it so that early in life you don't feel like you belong, or it could, that energy could be flipped where you don't feel like you belong, but you suppress any original or unusualness about yourself, any quirkiness, so that you can fit in to the group. That's how that played out for me, actually. Anything weird or unusual about myself, I tried to make it go away, which never works. It always comes out anyway, but it really just makes it so that you're depressed as fuck. But anyway, so during that Saturn return, what's happening now is everything to do with groups, everything to do with quirkiness, unusualness, rebellion, original ideas, hopes, wishes. These are Aquarius themes. I'm learning mastery over, right? But mastery doesn't come just because a transit happens. Mastery comes when you apply yourself and work on those things and actively participate. Saturn needs to see you work your ass off. Yeah. So yeah, this is a honing period for us Saturn Aqua babies. It's an awakening period as well. And we're inheriting a shit show. We're inheriting a shit show. But it's up to us. It's up to us to lead the way. So choose, I don't know, maybe look internally at, do a little bit of studying about archetypes. You could use Jungian archetypes. You could use a different system. I don't think it really matters which system you use. But do a quick little study. What path are you following? What are your strengths and weaknesses? Yeah, what are your strengths and weaknesses? What are your resources? There's 8 forms of capital, not just money. So what capital do you have? And what kind of resources? What kind of what path are you following? What archetypes are you modeling yourself after? What are your opportunities right now? And is there anywhere where you're holding yourself back, where you are looking at taking the easy path rather than the more difficult path? Saturn is saying take the more difficult path because you will be rewarded. If you don't take the difficult path and you fall into taking just the easy path, that is when decay, stagnation, and more crisis will occur. Yeah. There you have it. Okay. I hope you enjoyed your Monday reading. And yeah, this is a little bit more personal, specifically for anybody going through their Saturn return right now. But yeah, that's where I'm at, so that's what you get. All right, have a good week.